My sincerest apologies, Japanites. I just looked at my phone. I was like, oh fuck! It's 3 minutes past. I've just been standing here in a kimono. How's the sound? Is it booming? Is it bassy? Interpol was hot on his tail for some time. My tail is indeed hot. I always thought, like, well, not always, but I remember being younger and being like, so we have a tailbone. Does that mean we used to have tails? You know? And, like, obviously the fucking Darwinian cunts would be like, yes, at one point, like the lizard, we had tails. At one point, like the monkey, we would scratch our hairy asses. Well, like, monkeys' arses aren't hairy, are they? Isn't that hilarious that, like, I'm human and, like, my hall's hairy, but, like, you look at a baboon and, like, he's hairy everywhere else but his arse. That's the sort of shit that makes me laugh. Sound is based excellent. The new mica, I bereave, is good. I did do testing over the weekend. Not much. A brief test. I had other shit to do. I have secured some canvases. A large one. So some projects will be undertaken. But I have other stuff on my wrist. I have many things written on my wrist. Seriously, speaking Japanese just brings me so much joy for so many reasons. Now, the true test of the mica. Can you hear me get these bitches wet? I can see the mic reacting. I see the revels. I see the revers. The revers. The Rhine. The Rhine is going from left to right. Am I peaking? Can hear the street noise now. Very good. Much chi has been gathered. Excellent. Yes, excellent. The bitches. Me shaking the bitches. Creening the bitches. Creening the bitches. Ah. Excellent. The Rhine is going smoothly from left to right. This pleases me. Something that also pleases me this fine Monday is my top knot. Embraced firmly yet comfortably by my beautiful and clean bandana. And no, my bandana is not for sale. How is it if I whisper? If I go all like, we are here in the desert, tracking what is colloquially referred to as a wild nigger, exiled from the nearby village. This wild nigger has succumbed through his own actions to a barbaric and nomadic existence. Is it good beard quality? Quality? Well, yeah, the boot, like, it's like a fucking, like, it's solid. It's solid as fuck. And for like 50 odd quid, it's not bad. Like, and it showed up in like 48 hours. God bless Amazon. Could you imagine making, like, if you had a huge platform and you said that, and you were like really serious about it, like you were known for being like a fucking, some kind of like, not a religious zealot, but like, you know, some kind of like public religious, like public Catholic or Christian figure. Like the Pope. Could you imagine if the Pope turned around and was like, in nomine Patris, Spiritus Sancti, Requiem in pace, God bless Amazon. Goodest of Does the voice change much if I'm over here? If I lean in closer to the camera, do I lose some of the voice? Like, do I have to bring the mic with me? Like, I'm wondering, like, do I have to hold it close? Do I have to get really compassionate and follow through on my voice? I will caress the mic. Koberu, welcome. Goodest of days to you are. Been away for a few days. No way, me too. And I'm back. Fully donned in my kimono in Hadbandu, I have returned to LARPing on the internet as a demigod. Taking care of my family in Boston. Mass. Can barely wait to get back home to Maine. I made the brutal mistake of forgetting to acquire some water, and I am too poor to have a... Could you hear that? Welcome to ASMR Paintingu. Call yourself a truther, fucking drinking Coke. Look, it was the only thing in the fucking fridge, and I haven't gone to the shop to get water yet, and I am not drinking the tap water. So, forgive me, Garlos, but I am sipping on the devil's black stuff. Which sounds extra gay. But I need something to sip upon. And it is cool and refreshing. Yet poisonous. I mean, if you smoke, I mean, like, you can't really... Smoking alone kind of annihilates your entire fucking moral high ground to anything, like, do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, like, my body's a temple. It's like, do you smoke? Well, yeah, like, you know, like, since I was 17, it was like, well, shut the fuck up. Around me, two frecks, my fanskers. Can you hear it waft? Is it wafting? Ooh, shit. I have broken the mica. Fuck. It almost looks like you're a professional now. Did I read that out loud already? I don't know. Can you tell I'm not a professional? Oh my. The devil's whiz. We have Superman hearing now thanks to the jungle. The jungle site hail. Oh, I already put the fuck... I was like, where's my rag? It's already upon my knee. Goddamn. Oh, I didn't get to bed till late last night on a Sunday. Not a good move. You know, you don't want to be fucking staying up late on a fucking Sunday when you want to get ready for the week ahead. When you need to paintingu on Monday morning. Ooh, well, it's not. It's kind of morning for you guys, isn't it? I still feel like it's morning sometimes when I do these, even though it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because for a while I did them at like 11. I think it was like 10, 11 o'clock. And like, it was just me and Demon Hunter Bear for like fucking a few episodes. It was hilarious. It was quite funny. Also, something I thought was quite funny was like, for all the gamers out there, have you noticed that, like, because Skull and Bones from Ubisoft, the pirate game that they released, is so shit. It's so utterly trash that everybody, including myself, is going back to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Because, like, the nostalgia's kicked in and it's been like... It's like, like, some people have been waiting 10 years on that. Could you imagine? I see all these people being like, oh, GTA 6 and all, like, and I'm just like, lads, like, I'm a fucking huge gamer. Like, I'm such a hardcore gamer in so many ways. Not now. I'm not still. It's like saying you're like a retired UFC fighter or something. It's like, I can still throw down. Like, do you know what I mean? I can still play Dark Souls, bitch. You know, fucking, like, I love the way one game franchise has become, like, the benchmark of, like, what a real game is, like. But anyway, now I'm just rambling about video games, which is something I probably will do a lot. Anyway, the mic is good, the sound is good. You can hear... Oh, I have yet to test the gonga. I have to be careful because Or the mic is in the way of the new birdie. Behold. We have the PEINTEINGU family has grown in the past weeks. In the past few weeks, we have gone from just Carlos and myself to Carlos, Minnie Beru, and TBA. TBC. We need to, like, his initials are TBC, okay, to be confirmed. So what are we going to call him? Titus Becus Croas. I bereave that will suffice. Titus Becus. It's like the mic get it. I present to you, ladies and gentlemen. And just slowly move the mic out of the way to reveal him. And he's tiny. Like, Titus Becus Cross. Like, I wish you could zoom in. It'd be so fun if I could zoom in right now. Man, when I get good at streaming, when I actually become good at streaming, instead of just being like pretty good at painting and like pretty shit at streaming, painting is gonna be fucking on another level. Like, watch. It's gonna be fucking hilarious. I made sure, like, I've tried to remember everything that we currently have going. And like I am going to make a monkey. I swear to the gods that I'm like I got the clay out. The clay's on the bed. You know it's on my mind if it's on the bed. Oh. Can you hear the burps now? Can you? I'm drinking Coke today, so there's going to be even more burps. You're all fucked. I would love some water though, or even some tea. Because to be quite honest, I was already gassy enough as it was after those fucking sausage rolls. Female! Female! How loud was that? I want to know how loud I can go. You know, for comedic effect sometimes. Like, you know, if it's like blowing your eardrums out or some shit, like, or if it peaks and like you can't hear me. My beautiful counterpart, would you care to make your beautiful counterpart some tea?
I'm not even supposed to be here.
You're not even. I'm not even supposed to. Where are you supposed to be? Where? But you took the day off, so you could go to the garage. You know. So that just nullifies everything. Your own plans and decisions have wrecked your own argument. Right, what? Ring the garage? Ring away, so. They're gong confirmed. Mike is a tiny bit peaky. When I go really loud, or when I hit the gong. Because I currently have it on like 81. Turn it down to like 74. How low can I go while still being present vocally? I'm just gonna have to do I should have done like loads of testing over the weekend, but I only did like 3 or 4 fucking earballs. Did I hurt your earlobes, Demon Hunter Beru? GTA 6 is on hold until the diverse women decide to show up for work. I fucking didn't even cop some of those comments coming in there. I can't really remember what the fucking trailer is even looks like, or is like about. Like fucking, I couldn't discern anything from the GTA 6 trailer. I really enjoyed 5, and like 4 was great back in the day and all, like, you know. But like I wasn't a big GTA head. Like I got into GTA like on 4. You know, all those people who are like, you know, fucking proper like GTA heads who like just go on and on and on and on about San Andreas. Not that like San Andreas is bad. It's just if you like, if the first GTA you play is 4, which it was for me. Well, like technically the first Grand Theft Auto I played was Grand Theft Auto and then Grand Theft Auto 2. But I didn't play San Andreas and Vice City or whatever because like I've said before on the stream, there was like a portion of my life when I was very young where like for some reason my father thought that like I wasn't going to like remember a lot of shit as a really young kid, so like I saw movies and heard shit, and like I remember like screenshots and like bits of movies, and played video games that were like really violent and like had all sorts. Like I remember playing, like I remember Grand Theft Auto when it was top down, and just like pixelated and shit, you know, and you were just that little yellow blob like with the arms going up and down and shit, like, and oh, the fucking cheat codes and all, it was fucking hilarious. I thought this would like really annoy me, but like it's fine. But I may brutally murder my forehead off this thing when I start playing tunes and forget to like move it out of the way, and I'm just like fucking like between the angled wall right behind it, like look at the top knot. Look at the top knot. Look how free and bouncy the top knot looks, and then second, like right there. That's where the wall, like right fucking there. The amount of times I've felt just like that I've nearly sculled my head off the wall, like, and now I have this giant vocal apparatus before me. Oh, will you have to walk? Oh no, you're gonna have to walk. Oh god. Oh. If I had a really small violin now, it would be played. Imagine if you just threw your runner at me. Man, live on the internet. Like, it'd be the thing that makes this channel go viral. Is me just like, you know, fucking just taking order the piss, and a fucking Nike just sculls me out of it and bursts me open all over the fucking place. Like, and you'd probably be laughing. You'd be like, oh no, like, you know, but you'd probably be laughing. Admit it. You'd be fucking giggling away like, look how strong I am. You'd be proud of yourself. What? You fucking thought about it. Oh, you thought about it. Wishy Mobile still being a bundle of sticks. Yeah, it's like full of fucking water. And like I got into the car there the other day, and like, oh my fucking god, lads, seriously, like it's I've never witnessed anything like this. It has to be like a seal on the car somewhere where like all the rainwater has just gotten in, because it's a fucking god awful amount of water. It's a stupendous amount of water. It's swear to god, it sounds like there's a little bath under the passenger seat. And like when I got in and all, like the fucking, you know when you press your hand against the floor and all, like if it's like flooded, like you can push your hand down a bit and the water just like passes your hand, like that's how much water is in the floor and shit, like, and it's fucking crazy, like it's just crazy, like I didn't think it'd be that bad, like, but it's so bad, like. And then when she's like driving around corners and shit, like, or if she stops at the lights or something, like you can hear the water going like whoosh from side to side and shit, like it legit sounds like a small bath or like basin of water under the passenger seat, like it's crazy. Like that's what I was saying to her, is like, look, I don't know much about cars, but like cars get rained on all the time and that doesn't happen, so what has to like break or degrade over time or be like loose, or what's happening, what's wrong with the car that all of a sudden all the rainwater is being trapped in one location under the passenger side? Like I mean, for any car experts listening or watching, for any car experts listening to this painting stream. Oh god. Iron Man Barrow, welcome to PEINTEINGU. I know, like, you don't realise how dirty something white is until you clean it. And like, like it's so white, like,
So
I'm filthy. You love it. I'm a filthy Irish fuck. But that's what, like, you know, that's what we are. We're filthy Irish bastards. Oh. I've been a fan since Vice City. You see, I remember seeing one of me uncles playing Vice City, and I liked the art style. I really liked the graphics, and like the violence was funny and comical and shit. Oh, blessings. Love you too. It's almost as white as Defenderoo. Yeah, it's near, you know, it's not that far off. I mean, we've already established that, like, I'm just a shade off the fucking wall behind me. And it's like, I'm just a shade darker than fucking plaster. Oh, Christ. Shut your face, Carlos. Just because you're wearing a bucket on your head and sunglasses doesn't mean I can't see you smirking. I'm a demigod. I see it all. I'm loving it that I have like 3 imaginary creatures to speak to now. Well, that's why I have to make the monkey. You know, as long as I have an object, like that's why I can do it to a camera. As long as I can pretend that like something is watching me or interacting with me, then like I can create a dialogue fairly handily. Like most of the time, you know, if you're in the zone, you can come up with like a back and forth between an imaginary character in your head. But like, you need a reference, you know, even like like even just staring at this would help. Like, you know what I mean? But I want to make a monkey because I like the piano's just sitting there. The little prop piano has just been looking so lonely. Look at it, inverted. An inverted piano isn't good to anyone. I'm so lonely. It looks desperate just sitting there like. Look how small the stool is. I'm gonna have to make a monkey to like. That's what I'm gonna try and do. Like legit. Like I'm gonna try and make a monkey that fits on this. Like actually fits. Like, you know, like the bear I drew kind of fit. You know, but he was like, you know, like he was I drew him on paper. He was 2-dimensional. I want a 3-dimensional. Don't look at me like that, Carlos. Carlos is sitting there being like, the monkey gets to be 3D, but I'm on a fucking bit of board and foam? What the fuck? Welcome to PEINTEINGU, where I, demigod Defenderu, former god of PEINTEINGU, racist against tigers. I'm a ferinist. Can't stand the bastards. I can see the headlines now. Irishman dies on stream from flying sneaker. Oh man, how funny would that be if if that's how I became famous, like, and then like Wishy ends up on like one of those like snapped women who kill. He just for 2 hours every day I kept telling him to get a real job. And he just wouldn't, which isn't true at all. Like, do you know what I mean? But that's how you'd have to frame it. Like she legit gives me a kiss and goes, "Have a good stream." But that's how, like, you know, it wouldn't work narratively. Like, you know, like I'm gonna take mug shots of Wishy later, and I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna do it like a little fucking like GIF or meme of her like holding up the thing and all. Like, it was fucking. That'd be so fucking funny. One day she finally just had enough of his racist paintings. And like constantly ringing the gong and just being like, "Female! Bring me a beverage!" Getting her to play the Chinese flute live on a Japanese-Irish stream. Oh fucking hell! Right, I think I'm a bit fucking wired and delirious right now, cause like I get to bed till like fucking 2 or some shit. I can't remember. It's fucking late though. Shouldn't be doing that on a Sunday. Oh, here I go. No talking about like how tired I am. Just pretend I'm not tired. That's fake it till you make it. Like, you know, just that's how it's done. Fucking flex fan, waft all the demonic thoughts out of the back of my head. That's what the fan is for, by the way. You know, the combination of the fan and the top knot. Demons, or Oni, as they are called in Japu. I'm gonna just like say Japu every time I mean Japanese. What is the update on the Irish referendum? Man, I don't even know. I swear to God, I know there's a referendum going on, but I fucking, is it the hate speech one or some shit? Like, I don't fucking know. I'm out. Like shit. My give up. Like I'm out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm just doing my thing. And like whenever the government decides to try and interact with me in some kind of fashion, I will be civil. Like, you know what I mean? But like I couldn't give a fuck what these people do. Like I think it would be hilarious if like somehow like PEINTEINGU blew up a bit, like, and people started like asking me my opinion on shit, like, and like the shit I'd probably end up saying, like, do you know, like people like, man, if I can kick up like a bit of stink on a fucking poll on like on YouTube of like who would win, Iron Man or Batman, and like, oh my God, the fucking some of the responses I got. I was gonna put that up on the stream actually, like, potato niggeroo, welcome to PEINTEINGU, top of the morning to you, you potato faced nigger, you. How are you? Is this your first time on PEINTEINGU? I think it might be. Either that or you haven't been here in a long time, so. In a wrong time. I love the way long becomes wrong. Because when you say shit like that, it's just so funny. I was there for a wrong time. Like, it's like, what? Oh. Prime Minister McGregor. Oh man, seriously, like I said it a while ago, I would not be surprised if McGregor actually ended up in office. Cause like it feels like that in this country now, where like we could end up with a situation where like California had Arnold Schwarzenegger. It feels like Ireland could have McGregor as a president for a while, or a prime minister or something, like, you know, in like official in office for a while. Cause like if, do you know what I mean? Like, and like, I'm not saying that'd be a good thing. Like, I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be hilarious. I think it'd be really funny. Like, I think a lot of people are having a great time. But I don't know if it's like, you know, and I'm like, I'm not saying like, cause like, are these figureheads, are these like avatars really the people who make all these policies and put them through? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't fucking know. Like, democracy is clearly a heap of shite. And then when you see all these fucking absolute gobshites and nerds and just like societal rejects, like, do you know, like, I'm totally down with the whole like physiognomy thing. Like, that's why I like I kind of slate myself sometimes, because I look at myself in the mirror and on the stream and I'm like, I look like a lunatic. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, my fucking my this bit, I've said it before, like, I would make an excellent villain. Like, do you know, like, I look constantly aggressive. Like, I have the brow, I have a furrow, like, what's the term? A perpetually furrowed brow. You know, like, don't get me wrong, it gives me my smolder. But it's like, I look that because I've been through a lot. You know, like, emotionally, like, I've carried a lot of like anger. Like, do you know, like, if you know what you're looking for, you can see the signs. Like, you look at my face and like, I carry a lot of stress. I carry a lot of like anger and pain. There's a lot of pain in my face, you know. And like, it's not like I've never broken a limb. I've never been shot or stabbed. Like, I've been cut open a few times from surgery and shit. And like, if not for the wonderful invention of painkillers, it probably would have been extremely painful, because that's basically like being stabbed a few times, really deeply, you know. Like, but like, my point is that like, you wear, I don't know if you wear your sins on your face. That's probably a good way to put it. But like, you wear your choices, you know, as a soul, as an independent human being, as a fucking whatever. Like, you know, you wear your choices on your body, and it's not just your face, you know, it's your posture. It's the way you hold yourself, the way you walk around, like, you know what I mean? The way you kind of just hold yourself when you don't think anybody's looking, you know? And like, I have a tendency to slump, I have a tendency to slouch, you know, from fucking years of sitting down playing video games, and now I'm sitting down talking shite on the internet dressed as a fucking demigod painter, you know? But at least I do a lot of horse stance before I do this. Which was that reminds me, actually, I had like I don't know if anyone's ever like had a problem with like sciatica or like, you know, fucking bits of you going numb from like nerve ending problems, like a pinched nerve in your back or some shit. But like I've had it like pretty bad case of like I think they call it sciatica or whatever, but like one of the major nerves in my on the left side years ago went or got pinched or something, like, you know, or is like in atrophy. I don't know the fucking medical term, but I have a lot of numbness on my left side, right? And so intermittently over the last few years, when I'm like doing kicks and stuff like that, like warming up or like trying to like like a slowly trying to do a high kick or a side kick or some shit like that is one of the best ways to wake up your ass muscles. Like if you've got tight glutes or some shit like that, hamstrings and all, like, you know, just doing that whole slow Van Damme shit, you know, while listening to 80s retro music. I'm not joking, I do that. And I love it. It gets me in the mood to live life. But anyway, I was doing my horse stance, like Mabu fucking Qigong shit earlier on. And sometimes when you really get into it, you can really relax. Like when you'll go through a period where, like, you know, there's pain and there's like stiffness and like, because you're trying to hold a form but also relax into a form, you'll experience various things when you're trying to just, like, you know, maintain slow breathing and shit, like, you know, and especially if you're doing it for like 20 minutes. And I got to a stage where I kind of like leaned back into it, like, and something in my back popped, and like I felt blood run down my left ass cheek, but like on the inside, like, you get me, like, fucking. It's such a hilarious sensation though, like, you know, it felt like a drop of water went from my hip all the way down the back of my left ass cheek and then down to my calf, and like trying to still, like, it tickled, like, do you know what I mean? So it was like trying to maintain like the stance and not like wobble or like giggle or like, do you know, and I just imagine me just standing there like this, like smirking, just going that's basically how I responded, like. But it's like, it's hilarious how the human body has an insane capacity to heal and just like repair itself if you just give it the right environment and do the right things and all, like, you know, like a lot of your ailments can be solved from like something like Tai Chi and a lot of water, you know. You don't really need to, like, obviously you need to, like, you know, do rigorous exercise for other reasons, like, do you know what I mean? But in terms of just general health and mobility and spinal health and shit like that, and your nerve endings and all, which is like, it's all connected to your organs, especially your heart and your brain and shit, like, you know. So like, you know, I think that's like fundamental fucking foundational health, you know. Like, what's the point in trying to do a deadlift if you can't like squeeze your glutes, your ass muscles, like really tightly, just standing there, you know? And I can barely do that sometimes, like, especially with the left one, because I can't like feel it because I have numbness, because I have like pinched nerves and shit. Like, it's all connected, like, you know. Now I'm just rambling. This is my first PEINTEINGU stream. Well, willkommen auf PEINTEINGU, meine Lieben. Wir machen ein Malerei. I like, when I got money the other day and I was like, grand, yeah, I got some money in, right, I need paint. I got fucking loads of brack paint. Look at all that brack. Look at it. Look at all that brack. It's like, and it smells amazing. I'm like fucking Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm like chemical shit and all that. Good God, it smells like it's got alcohol in it, like. But I suppose it's like ethanol or some shit. And like, no, what is it? Emulsion? I think it's like emulsion polymer paints or some shit. I don't know. Some of them do say like may cause an allergic reaction and shit. Like, I don't know. Oh, I got told I was allergic to chicken and eggs. Like, that's a lot of bollocks. The reeing must have been tremendous with your trolling. Oh, bless me. Oh God, yes. Oh yeah. I really do. What female? Where's my tea? Don't make me ring the gong again. I might knock the bird over. I'm just gonna have a sip of Coke. Will I do it again? Oh, it wasn't that loud that time. Good God, man. Why do they make these things so shitty these days? It should like every time you open it. Why do you look so depressed? He didn't have a look at it, yeah. Oh, I forgot you went to the garage. Fucking, I was like, bitch, where's my tea? Yeah, do you mind? I don't want to be sitting here drinking Coke and I'll just like be burping way too much and all. Thank you. No, it's in there. Thank you, my love. Right. I realized earlier on that I'm not going to be able to sing along with the tunes because I can't have the tunes playing because the mic will pick it up and then you get like an echo and shit. So I'm not going to know. I won't be able to know when to say paint or like PEINTEINGU or whatever, like, you know. So I'm gonna try and get like a set of like I want to try and get like a set of earphones or something so I could just have like I'm gonna be Demon Hunter is like, oh, you look so you almost look like a professional now. I'm gonna look hilarious because I'm gonna have like an earpiece so I can hear the music and I'm like, welcome to DJ PEINTEINGU. Like, oh, it's gotta be so fucking funny. Sucking funny. So fucking funny. So fucking funny. Not sucking funny. And sucking anything. Right. Okay. I also had to you know, when I was testing shit over the weekend, I was like, okay, well, when I get into position and I actually start painting, what's the story gonna be like? Excuse me while I fix my junk. Fuck. It's important to like really, you know, get that Homer Simpson ass groove going on in the stool so that your glutes have a good purchase to support your lower back, especially if you're going to be sitting here for 2 hours. But be careful not to sit on your balls, you know. Us grown men, that's a real problem. Sometimes I sit down and I nearly have a heart attack because I nearly sit on my balls. I did that a while ago. I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something. I came in here and whatever way I plonked myself on the stool, I very nearly like annihilated my own sack. Just think of the memes for a PM. Like, that's why, like, bro, I'm not saying that I wouldn't, like, I can't lie, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it would probably be hilarious. Like, well, not probably. It would definitely be hilarious. It's hilarious watching him rip the fucking shit out of them on Twitter and all that fucking shit. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, that's hilarious alone. Like, the fact that he's saying something, like the way he's saying things and all, and some of the stuff he's saying, I'm like, whatever, I don't know. Like, you fucking, like, I don't know what his politics are. Like, the way I think about things now is, like, you know, we live in an age where most people tend to present a front, you know. Obviously I do one comedically, you know, like this is what PEINTEINGU is about, like, so I do that like satirically and like in an irreverent sense. But I mean, like, people like literally, like, you know, what something like Vox would say is like everybody wears a mask and shit, like, and like literally everybody. I don't mean that I don't wear any masks. Like, you do wear some masks just to be civil, you know, in a sense, being polite to someone that, like, you have, like, fucking utter disdain for. Like, that's wearing a mask, you know. It works both ways. But, like, what I'm saying is like, I am now of the opinion, where I didn't used to think like this, and I don't think most people do even still, is like, I don't know. I haven't a clue. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's it that Owen says? I don't know his heart. Yeah, I don't know his intention. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know, like, I don't know, like, you can judge people by their actions and shit, but you still don't know what they're like inside. And that's why they want people, like, you know, fucking all in, like, little apartment blocks and shit, like, and socially fucking cordoned off and shit. Like, everything's so, like, hookup culture and all this shit. Like, there's no actual, like, intimate relationships. Like, and I'm not talking about, like, sex. I'm talking about, like, intimate relationships where people genuinely trust each other because they know each other really well. You know, everything's this, like, based on commerce and, you know, you scratch my back or I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing. Everything's like, what can I get out of my relationship? Like, if it's more about alliances, you know? It's more about, like, if I'm associated with you socially, or if I, like, you know, I'm seen to be in your Venn diagram of, like, whatever, then that will benefit me. You know, that's how a lot of people work these days. That's how the system works and shit. Like, that's what it like encourages. But like, we don't work like that. Like, I don't work like that. Like, you try to be genuine and whatever. Like, you know, and it's very polarizing. You know, cause like you get people like, you know, Joe Rogan or something, or maybe like, I'm guessing, I don't know, but like I'm guessing like Conor McGregor would be the same, judging on his, like, the way he handled the Khabib fight and all. Like, you know, it's just business. Like, what, he's getting the head kicked off him. It's like, there's, like I said, it's a front. And I'm not saying it's an ego thing, because like it does, like, he's probably being very sincere. It was just business to him, like, do you know what I mean? He's good at playing the bad guy. He's good at being loud and aggressive and funny and all these fucking things, like, do you know what I mean? And he just went hard at Khabib because, like, at that point in his life, and the kind of, like, it was the climax to everything. So like, it was just like way over the top. It was all about building it up and building it up and building it up and all, like, you know. Like, everybody's human. Well, I say that, like, so, like, I genuinely think some people aren't fucking human these days. But whatever. Spaghetti arms walking up to the podium, hilarious. It would be clown show on steroids. Yeah, he'd fucking he'd be strutting us. He'd be strutting up the fucking thing, like, be so funny, like. That's what, like, I preferred him when he was still a bit of a scumbag, like, you know. I say scumbag, but like commoner. You know, like, I think a lot of us preferred him when he was just common and, like, he seemed more relatable and honest. And like, I remember watching him up and coming in the fighting and all, like, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that he's trying to learn how to, like, pronounce words correctly and speak in a eloquent and articulate manner, you know. And you just seem like putting the mouth in his, or putting the pen in his mouth and all, like, instead of sitting there being like, oh, I'll fucking kick your head in, watch, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna bounce his head off the fucking canvas. And like, my kind of demographic, like, hearing that, were like, like, laughing and like getting excited, because like, it's like, oh my god, he's gonna kill him, like, you know. But like, there was, like, you know, like, I do get that, like, you know, if you're gonna be in those circles, if you're gonna be, like, you know, trying to fucking play yourself off as a serious businessman, thank you, my love. Then, like, you probably shouldn't you probably shouldn't talk, you know, or speak. You shouldn't what's the way, you shouldn't oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Your, not your composure or behavior. There's another word for it, like countenance. No, I can't remember right now. Just the way you hold yourself or whatever, like. It's like, it's. I was only saying this to Wishy, I think, either this morning or last night, like, because I was like kind of talking about this all weekend, like, and it was funny, like, that I had that interaction with those dudes on the YouTube poll thing. Like, I don't know if I can get it up on stream. It'd just be a pain in the hole to do it, but like, I put it in the Telegram chat thing, and I can just bring it up here and read through it, because like, it is all just text. It's not like you're gonna miss anything visually, like. But it's just one of those things where, like, the reason why I was laughing so much is because, like, it's very it's like a representation of the, like, what's going on in society these days, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, not composure, but like, fucking, there's another word. Not constitution. No. I'm like, I think it's a C. It begins with C word. How much of a cunt you are? I don't know. um, is your real potato N though. It's like I don't know, like potato nigger. Are you like what are you half Polish? I can't remember. You kind of like, or are you not? Are you like all Irish and you just look weird? Cause like people could argue that like apart from my red hair, I don't look Irish at all. Like I look very like Germanic or something. Like I have a real Roman nose, you know. I have one of those like I'd look good in a coin, you know. Like wait till you're 40. Oh, like bro, I probably use my fucking balls as a fucking self defense weapon by the time I'm fucking 45. Gives your wallet and your keys. My son, you don't want to do this. Don't make me take out my fleshy shillelagh. He has to stop beating randos on the street. Who's beating randos on the street? McGregor? What, did he get a scrap? Did he get into the scrap and put... Like, I literally don't follow... Unless it's, like, huge. Unless it's everywhere and I'm just flicking on my phone. I don't know what's going on. Like, for the most part, like... and, like, that's... Like, if something happened in the gaming community or something, I'd probably know. Like, I don't even catch up on... I used to catch up on UFC, like, regularly, and I just don't anymore. I don't care. I literally don't... Like, I care more... Like, I genuinely think regularly about what I'm going to do on this stream in terms of like characters and what I'm going to talk about and like do I want to make it better in terms of like, you know, what I'm showing and what I'm talking about and what I have on screen, the music I play and stuff, like, do you know what I mean? Like I said in a few streams ago, like I want to cultivate a vibe here, like, you know. I want to cultivate a fucking... I've thought about it before. Like, I think it'd be cool if PEINTEINGU became like a fucking like, almost like a port. It's like I'm thinking in Black Flag terms because if I'm playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag, or like I'm thinking in naval terms. I'm thinking like I'd love for PEINTEINGU to be an internet port where where normies and bears, like, so like we're all like, I'm a bear and you're all bears. Like most of the people that come here are bears, and there's like a randomer every now and again. But I'd love for it to be like, you know, if like, because there's bound to be people that would like me but don't really like Owen for like some reason. You know, people are very fickle these days. That's another thing I've noticed. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling now because like my point was like, this is a good example about like what's going on, right? So like, I follow this guy called Prioxis who has like I'll just I'll give you the setup of like why I think this is hilarious, because you have to take it in the context of like, you know, how big the channel is. So like it's probably, a lot of these are probably bots and so on and so forth. Like, so Prioxis is a guy I follow on YouTube, and he's got 121,000 subscribers, and I like him. I don't watch him all the time, but he's good. He makes good content. He's entertaining, and he put up just randomly in his, like, you know, the way you can post a thing, just like text or a poll, and he just goes, who wins in a fight, right? And 4.8 thousand people voted on it, right? So just under 5,000 people voted on it. And it's out 3 days ago, so it was like Friday, right? And it's like, every couple of hours I'd look at my phone and there'd be new messages from the fucking YouTube thing all over the weekend. It's fucking hilarious. It genuinely had me in stitches while I was at the shop and then back at the house, and like while we were in the car, like I'm just sitting there giggling at this shit, like. And so it's 3 days old, and there's been nearly 5,000 votes, and there's 121 comments on it, and it's 65% Batman to 35% Iron Man, which makes it even funnier, right? Because I didn't vote initially. I just commented this, right? Now, if you know, you know, about like how nerdy nerds can get. Like, people would call me a nerd because I'm like, oh, I like Star Trek, I like Star Wars, I like, you know, like I like Lord of the Rings. I don't know if that's like, I suppose that is nerdy too, because like Dungeons and Dragons and shit, like, do you know what I mean? And I play video games and all this stuff, like, but I'm not like nerdy. Do you know what I mean? If anything, I come across like you know, like fucking rough and tumble, like hipster vibe ish. Like, do you know what I mean? I look like I would come to paint your house, or do your plumbing, or lay a brick wall. Like, I look like a laborer. Do you know what I mean? I'm always wearing hoodies and shit, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, and like tracksuit bottoms and stuff and boots. I'm forever just wearing boots. Like, I don't have that vibe about me, but I am quite the nerd. Like, I am. I'll admit that, and I love that about myself because I love the things that make me a bit of a nerd. You know. But I'm not this bad. You know, like, wait till you hear some of this shit. So, in total, there's 121 comments. My comment, I think, has the most likes out of the. Like, it's only 100 comments. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's this tiny thing in a tiny section on the internet, right? But it's hilarious. There's 121 comments, and yeah, like, none of them have likes apart from the top two, which is me and another guy who said Artem Lobov, which is kind of funny. To just randomly say, you know, who'd win in a fight between Iron Man and Batman, and just say Artem Lobov. That gave me a giggle. Rough and tumble, he says, wearing a nicely pressed, colourful kimono. A clean, colourful kimono. You don't know what I really look like. Well, you do, like that. You know, like fucking Thursday and Friday last. Like, I just like, that's why I was like, "Hi guys, it's me. It's just Alex. I'm just sitting here in a hoodie and my fucking baseball cap. I'm not wearing like a regal. Like, this is quite a regal kimono. Like, when you look at it, like, it's got like gold dragons on it and shit. Oh, shout out to Scouseberry, he's a legend. For those of you who don't know, Scouse is the one that bought me this, like, bless him. And Bravey Bear bought me the bandana, like it legit wasn't my idea to end up looking like this. That's one of the reasons I love this stream so much, is because, like, it's not just my this isn't all me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's people have gotten really involved with it and all, like, do you know what I mean? And, like, I love that. I fucking love that. Like, if it wasn't for Stabaru-san, we wouldn't have the rabbit and gorilla painting. And I fucking love the rabbit and gorilla painting. It turned out amazing, like, you know. I don't care if anyone even buys the original, like, you know, I just can't wait to get prints of it done. I steadily get prints done of, like, lots of things, like, you know, but so much to do. Like, fucking, every time I get money, like, I end up, like, doing loads of stuff. And I'm like, right, progress, like, so it's like like, if Owen's stream, yous are all on a train and he goes choo choo, this is more like a ship, you know. PEINTEINGU is a recommissioned Chinese galleon that we sail about the place, about the realm. So instead of landing the plane, I'm going to be weighing anchor. But anyway, right. So who wins in a fight? Iron Man or Batman, right? And I see this come up, and like I said, I didn't even vote on it. I just started typing immediately because, like, in my head, as quite the nerd, you know, like, I'm not a comic book reader, but I've watched all this, like, most of the movies and stuff. And just in my head, I was like, after all their gadgets cancel each other out, it would just be a straight up fight between Tony and Bruce. For those of you who aren't nerds at all, Batman is Bruce Wayne and Iron Man is Tony Stark, right? And they don't have superpowers. They're just human, right? They just have incredible technology and gadgets available to them. And one of them's a ninja, and the other one is not a ninja. And that's going to become very relevant in a few minutes. And I was like, yeah, it would just be a straight up fight between Tony and Bruce would smash him up, but it would be an epic fight, right? And it got like 23 likes or something, and then it got like another 23 likes. The more people responded to me. And 23 people responded to me. Or sorry, no, there's 23 comments on it. There's 23 replies. That's why I said responses. So 23 replies. Wait till you hear some of these, right? So some guy just goes, a unibeam stops him dead in his tracks with the crying face. And it's like, yeah, whatever, like fucking, like, and two people like that, right? And it's and I kind of picked that apart immediately, like. So his argument is that Iron Man has that like chest thing, and he would just go, unibeam, and just immediately vaporize Batman. All right, and I address that in a moment. This is so fucking funny to me. Some guy called Multi Bears Fan 54, which I thought was hilarious. He goes, "My guy, what? You're not just going to cancel the Iron Man suit out." So I was like, "Fucking nerds!" Like, do you know what I mean? And it's the way the way they comment is like, like the crying laughing faces and the crazy laughing faces and all, and the way that the message is written is, like I'm so wrong, it's hilarious, So it's like, okay. And the guy that goes, you're not just gonna cancel the Iron Man suit out. I replied, "You're right, I wouldn't. Batman would." And like, I think it looks extra hilarious because my profile picture is like really serious and mean looking. Like, and I'm always just having a laugh. like, oh, it just makes me giggle. And then to the guy that was like, "Oh, he'll just get unibeamed and that puts him in, that stops him in his tracks." I was like, you think Batman would just stand there and get unibeamed? You think he's just gonna stand there? That's pretty stupid. I mean, think about it. If you're gonna charge a laser, and as far as I'm aware, it does. It takes like, he can't just go bang, Like he has to assume the position to get ready to chest blast a nigga, and then it's like a long range body check, like, say it with your chest, little ass bitch. Unibeam. But like, he'd go to do it, and I think it's fucking Batman. Like, but like, Batman's like literally a trained ninja with insane reflexes and all this fucking shit. And like, the first thing that came into my mind was like, even if this fight is taking place in a desert, and Iron Man has flown into the air to gain to gain the high ground, right? Like a aerial advantage, okay? As he goes to like fire the big laser thing, Batman would react, and how he would react would be any of the various ways I have seen him react in like all these movies and cartoons and shit, especially the cartoons, because they don't do as insane shit in the movies unless it's CGI and shit, because it's not like you're gonna have a fucking normal human being do all that crazy stuff. But like, I've seen him like get out of the way of like explosions. Like, if you can get out of the way of an explosion, like something's about to explode, and he like, that's what it was like. Even if it takes place in a desert, he could grapple hook the ground like 40 feet to the left of him, and just boom, and just like pull himself, like he could like Scorpion style, "Get over here," except it would be, "I want to be over there," like immediately, and just like, "I've killed the bird," and fucking just drag himself like 40 feet to the left, like fairly fucking quickly, like almost in an instant. And if he timed it well, "I've killed the bird, I've killed Titus Becus Crowus, I've murdered him, I've murdered the crow. Shit. He is... I done broken my bird. I done broken it, my bird. Oh no." Are you okay, Titus? Are you well? Are you well, Titus? Fucking €13 for this piece of shit. I didn't mean it, Titus. I'm sorry. I'm gonna glue him to that fucking thing. R.I.P. Titus Becus Cross. We hardly knew you. FYI, Batman outsmarted Darkseid. Iron Man would not stand a chance. Yeah, well, like I knew that you'd have a lot to say because you're more of a nerd than I am. So I knew you'd have shit to say. But that's why I thought it was hilarious that like the poll was actually 65-40 or whatever, or 60-40. I think it's 65-35. I'm not sure. But like most people were like, yeah, Batman, because like it's just two guys, it's two mortals. You know, being superhuman isn't a thing. They're not superhuman. They are superheroes, but they're not superhumans. They're two mortals, right? And they have almost limitless tech available to them. Granted, Iron Man makes his own. But like Batman still has those resources available to them and has made his own shit, but like gets stuff made for him a lot by like Lucius or whatever. Iron Man has a lot of suits. Batman also has suits, many different armored suits. He has a fucking car that's like remote control. He has a bike that's remote control. He has a fucking remote control jet called the Batwing and all. He has a bunch of gadgets that like, you know, like homing batarangs that explode and all this fucking shit. Lasers, explosive gel, all this crap. And like he's like a genius and a ninja and shit, like, do you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, let's say they both just like, you know, one for one, like Batman's literally known for being so intelligent and resourceful that he was able to take out Superman. Like okay, think about it. There's a Batman versus Superman movie. Why? Because there was Batman versus Superman comic books or whatever. Like that happened in the canon, in the lore, from as far as I'm aware. Superman is basically a god. You know, like, so like, if Batman has the resources, the intellect, and skill, like to take out a god, I think he can take out a nerd in a suit. Like, but anyway, and that's what like listen to this one, right? After I said, you think Batman would just stand there and get unibeamed, that bear guy comes back and is like, I love how your theory of him winning involves just invalidating Iron Man's suit and then a space, and then it's like, you should probably ask yourself why. And 3 people liked that, and I read that and I was like, oh my god, like what the fuck? This guy's like, do you like what kind of a like, how could you not take offense to that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's like it made me laugh. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gaslighting nerds on the internet by just having like this and like a winning opinion. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like Batman won the poll. Like, you know. So like, I love how your theory of him winning involves just invalidating Iron Man's suit. Like, I didn't do that. I didn't just invalidate the suit. Saying that means I invalidated like both, like I invalidated both of their tech, like if you want to say that, like, do you know what I mean? Like their tech cancelled each other out, you know, and like you should probably ask yourself why. Is he like trying to like one of these calls me delusional? Like they're so bored over the fact that I think a fantasy character between 2 fantasy characters, like it's a binary decision. It's a binary choice. They're both superheroes, you know? And it's like, who would win between a fight? It's like saying, like, who would win between a fight and, like, what was it, fucking, like, Master Chief or fucking, I don't know, who's the equivalent, like, fucking, I don't know. I nearly had it in my head there. I can't think of like a fucking somebody else wearing a suit or some shit. The first one that came out in my mind was fucking Samus from fucking Metroid or something. I don't know, like. Anyway, so I turned around to him and was like, they both have Unreal tech available to them. They are both highly intelligent, but one of them is a ninja. Are you invalidating ninjas? Like. And when I typed that out, I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, imagine asking, like, not imagine, like, I'm literally asking someone, like, Are you invalidating ninjas? Like, I couldn't stop laughing at that. Like, you're just gonna invalidate Iron Man's suit? You're just gonna invalidate ninjas? You gonna do that? Like, on the internet? Like, you can't just invalidate ninjas, bro. Like, oh man, I had so much fun writing these replies. Like, I was there like pissing myself laughing while I'm walking around the grocery store. Like, it was so funny. Like, can you hear the sip sip now? I mean, if you can, like, fuck. I think we've established that you can fucking hear everything. If you can hear the traffic outside, then you can fucking hear everything. So he comes back at me and he's like, no. Like, no. Right? One's technology is significantly superior. And then he does Batarang, and you know the thing that's like greater than or lower than? The little arrow, like head of an arrow symbol. The crocodile fucking mouth thing. And it's like Batarang is lower than laser beam fists, right? So I turn around to him and I'm like, aren't some of the Batarangs remote controlled explosives, amongst other things? You telling me Batman canonically can take out Superman, but not, in quotes, the suit? I'm not convinced, you know? I'm not convinced by these arguments. I'm not, gentlemen, you know? And, like, I got the feeling, like, when I seen that there was a few people replied and all, I was like, oh my god, people read my comment of, like, this is probably how it would go down, like, in my opinion. Like, and they were like, you're wrong! You know? These are fictional comic book heroes. And it's not like I'm saying something like outlandish and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody turned around to me and was like, I think Mario from Super Mario, like, I think Crash from Crash Bandicoot would murder Kratos from God of War in a fight. Like, do you know what I mean? And like that, like off the bat, that's ridiculous. I mean, like, you know, because if you know the characters, it's like, yeah, like even remotely, if you know the characters even a little bit, you're like, one is like a little like Australian or like Tasmanian little devil thing, and the other one's like a Greek god. Like. And you know there'd be people that would be like, yeah, but Crash can get the, you know, the ooga booga, you know, like, ooga booga. Like, Crash gets the masks, like, makes him fucking invulnerable, like. That would make a hilarious animation, though, like, fucking Crash Bandicoot gets the ooga booga mask and just, like, MMAs the fuck out of Kratos, like, brutally, like. You're more of a gaming nerd. How dare you, sir? Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely more of a gaming nerd. With my limited knowledge of both, couldn't Batman just summon the Batjet for air threats and shoot down? That's, dude. I say that. Wait. And I love this. Some guy, like, I liked this guy's comment. Some guy comes in and goes, "This is the nerdiest shit I have ever seen." I was like, yes. But I turn around to him again. I was like, if Sekiro can anti-air, then so can Batman. And if, for those of you who don't know, Sekiro is like a ninja character from a video game who can, like, if somebody goes up in the air, you get a move where he can just, like, take off from the ground and just, like, stab them out of the air. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's an inhuman level of acrobatics, like, do you know what I mean? But, like, he's still human, but he's just got, like, magical powers, which is essentially the same kind of, like, setup as most like, a lot of superheroes are just humans, but, like, with, like, extreme circumstances thrust upon them, and then they get, like, either, like, cool gadgets or, like, secret tools or, like, you know, magic powers or something, like. And then you have a lot of superhumans that are, like, classed as, like, gods, essentially. Like, you know, they have, like, healing powers and can shoot lasers out of their eyes and all that crap, like. Oh my god! Tuekarindi Beru! Welcome to PEINTEINGU. Level 2. Check it out. You can hear everything. Did it peak that time? Am I peaking? I wonder if our whole world is a game of who would win, God or Satan? Like, yeah, I mean, like, it's like, from what I've heard, that's pretty much it. It's like, okay, I'll make a deal with you if you can turn them all against me, like actually turn them all against me, you can have the place or some shit like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I came up with an interesting. Well, that like I can say I came up with it, but like anyway, the thought entered my mind earlier while I was I think I was while I was meditating, or was it while I was? It might have been while I was getting ready for the stream, but I remember thinking, you could. Do you think a cool show, like a cool TV show, would be like if it's about a like Satan gets amnesia and like forgets he's Satan and just lives his life as like an average dude, but then through certain circumstances starts remembering who he is, you know, and then like you'd have like a subplot of like there's like a cult who worship Satan who are trying to get him to remember that he's Satan, but like you could totally play with that where like I thought it'd be cool if like the story ends with Satan realizing who he is and what he has done, but after living as a normal human with like, you know, he doesn't know he's Satan and he lives a normal life for like 30 years. Say he gets to the same age as Jesus, he gets to like 33 or 32 or something, and he doesn't know he's Lucifer, and then he goes through all this shit in a few years and figures and gets like a lot of shit happens to him and he realizes like, fuck, I'm Lucifer, and he like asks God for forgiveness because he like, you know, because now he has a different perspective on things, you know. Because like, isn't the reason why Lucifer like rebelled is because like he was the best, he was the prettiest, he was the best at everything, which created the circumstances for him to be like, well, I could be God, you know, like I'm the best. You made me to be like fucking 10 out of 10 and everything. All my stats are like maxed out. You made a maxed out character, like, do you know what I mean? I'm the maxed out character. I should be the game designer. Like, never mind player one, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not just an S tier character. I am the creator of the game. That is a profoundly arrogant thing to say though, like from something. Imagine you make this thing and it's the best thing you've ever made. Apart from, like, I don't know, what did he make first? He made the angels first, didn't he? Before he made Earth. Yeah, because he makes the heavens. Doesn't he make the heavens first? I only recently heard something about that. Is that like there's more than one heaven. That's why it's called the heavens. I'm peeking so hard. Are you just taking the piss? I put it down to 64 there. So like, should I put it down to a thing where like it doesn't get even yellow? Because like I've been letting it get yellow. Because it shows you, it'll go like green, 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 yellow, red, 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 red. Like, you know, it's not going even yellow now. Can you still hear me? Did you hear that? Yeah, so I'm not going to be able to sing along with the tunes when I put the tunes on. Because I can't, like, I won't be able to. I have to mute them, otherwise the mic will pick it up. I fucking had a feeling you were taking the piss. I had a feeling you were taking the piss. You're peeking so hard, yeah. But I didn't want to risk it. Right, I had it on like, I'll leave it on 75. How's 75? It sounds fine in North Dakota. Where are we? Oh yeah, I already read that one. That kind of sounds like the anime The Devil is a Part-Timer. Something happens at the start where he's defeated and banished and he has to live as immortal. Yeah, like, that's why I said, like, I don't know if I came up with this, like, because, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't really come up with anything, like, in a sense. Like, you do and you don't. That's one of the things that I thought was so cool about when I first started to do the symmetricals, where like I'd split the page down the middle and then draw on one side of it, and then trace that and flip it over to get a mirror image perfectly symmetrical with each other. Like, and it's like obviously sometimes like I can use my imagination and look at what I've drawn and be like, yeah, that's probably gonna look really cool when I mirror it, but you don't really know what it's gonna look like until you like do it. And then a lot of the times, like, I'll trace it all out and then I'll transfer it, and then when I take the tracing paper off and like it's revealed to me what the whole image is, I'm just sitting there going, oh, that's awesome, like I can't wait to paint this, like, which is like a really cool experience, because like a lot of art, like especially if you're trying to do some of the stuff that I've tried to do in terms of like character design or even doing merch and stuff like that to get like your art out there or to have another source of income, it's incredibly challenging to like be really regimental and like business orientated and like have a sound marketing strategy and stuff like that as somebody like me who just like wants to make stuff. Like you have to be, like it's been a while since I came out with a t-shirt. Like I know that I put the last symmetrical I did was that ice demon thing, Frosty the Demon or whatever, which is a shit name. Like I should have named it better, considering how cool it came out looking. Like I'm proud of like I'm satisfied with how it came out visually, but like because I like went so far off the original design, I was kind of like, what do I even fucking call this? I know I put that on a t-shirt, but I haven't done, like I like designing stuff just like for a t-shirt, or taking some of my character designs and going and be like, oh no, right, I'm gonna put this on a t-shirt, like, and it's hard like to like order my mind in a disciplined way when I have all these ideas. Like I have a book sitting there that's basically like not a whole book, it's a fucking A4 or A3 fucking hardback sketch pad, like, but I've like a good few pages of, and then some like A4 notepad margin stuff. I've a good few pages of like the fantasy thing that I came up with, and like a character called Sycorax, and like I've had that idea since I was like fucking 12. And like I just thought the name Sycorax sounded cool. I was like, what am I gonna call my superhero? Like I want to call him something cool. And then like I heard there's like, I think it's actually it turns out it's the name, like I made that in my mind, from my perspective, I made that name up, Sycorax, and I spelled it SY CHORAX, like Sycorax. And then I remember finding out like years later, I was playing Call of Duty or something, and he said Sycorax, and I was like, what the fuck? But they spelt it slightly differently. And then I looked it up, and it's like it's a moon, it's a moon of one of our luminaries or some shit. I think it might be Saturn or Jupiter. It's a moon on Saturn or Jupiter or something. I can't remember, but it's like it's an actual name of something, like. And I was like, that's mad. Like that's happened to me a few times where like I'll design something or draw something or whatever, like, like I'll make something, and then years later I'm like, that's fucking weird. Like that happened to me with it wasn't a symmetrical design, but it was like an abstract thing I painted in blue and gold when I was doing the sign writing course at the time. And then I remember years later, I was like looking into some like ancient history shit, like Tartarius type stuff, and they were comparing modern circuit boards to old like aqueducts and stuff, where they had like just these what would they call it, like ditches and gullies and aqueducts, just these kind of pipes, but like not an actual pipe, like a half pipe full of water, and then full, like lined with certain metals and stuff and all, and like in a certain shape, like there'd be like long lines that end up in a circle that go off in another long line, or like there's three other lines coming off a circle. and it looks like a circuit board, like, do you know what I mean, in a sense, or a motherboard or something like. And I remember something clicking in my head where I was like, I feel like I'm remembering shit. It's weird, like, and I remember saying that at a bear meetup one time where I was like, do you because that's not, like, there is that, like, that idea has been thrown around for a while by a few people where it's like, I can't remember the name of the person, but like I think Christopher Gardner mentioned that on the stream before. But it was like, you don't realize, you don't learn anything, you remember. And like for some weird reason that makes sense to me, even though like weirdly, like logically, if you were to just say it like that, like it's like that doesn't make any fucking sense. What do you mean you're remembering stuff? But like in a weird way, that's kind of what it feels like. Dick Fordu, welcome. My boys asked what the new picture was in my bike. I told them it was an ice dragon. Yeah, that works. I'm real like that. Like I don't get bogged down in, like, you know, unless I'm actually designing it. Unless I'm actually sitting down to design something like a character or something. If I'm just doing my abstract stuff, if I'm just doing symmetricals and it ends up looking like something, that's kind of what I like about the symmetricals that I do. It's kind of like people will look at them and be like, oh, it looks like this. Oh, it looks like that. And like, sometimes they'll say, oh, it looks like this. And I'm like, yeah, like, yeah, I see that too. And then some people will look at something and they'll say, oh, it kind of looks like this. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, you're right. I didn't see that before. You know? It's weird how shit like that works. It's like another reason why I love doing them. But anyway, back to the fucking Iron Man, Batman fucking argument. Some of this shit is hilarious, right? So I said, yeah, like if Sekiro, which is a ninja from a video game, can anti-air, then so can Batman, you know? And like I've seen Batman do shit like that, where somebody goes up in the air, you know, and he'll like throw something, or he'll dodge out of the way, or like straight up just like hit them with the grapple and pull them down. And I was like, doesn't the Unibeam have a big charge time? And that would like give it away that he's about to do it, you know? And if you're fighting a ninja, you don't want to telegraph a move, you know? Like that's the last thing you want to do against Batman is like telegraph what you're about to do. And that's a huge telegraph move, is you're like, Unibeam! And a big fucking laser coming out of his chest. Like, that's a big telegraph move, like, you know? And he gets back to me and he's like, this is some bad logic, as Sekiro is indeed not Batman. I just thought that was semantic, to be honest. I was like, they're both ninjas. Like, fuck off. They're both fantasy ninjas with many tools and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, they both have like a grappling. Like, they're really similar in lots of ways. Like, do you know what I mean? If you know who Sekiro is, like, I have a point. Like, you know. And like Batman is like more mobile because he's got the cape, and like Batman can basically fly. You know, he just has to like grapple up before he can, like, he can glide. And I was like, oh no, he goes, Iron Man's Unibeam also travels at the speed of light, so no matter how long it doesn't matter how long it takes. And Stark's armors have lock-on targeting systems. And I fucking loved replying to this one. I had so much fun replying to this one. I was like, comparing fantasy ninjas is totally logical, which it is. Like, I don't care who the fuck you. It's totally logical to compare one fantasy ninja to another one. Like, you're already like arguing over fucking the fantasy guy in an armored fucking laser firing suit taking on the supposed fantasy ninja. Like, so that's just a retarded thing to say. And I goes, sure, the Unibeam would be hard to dodge once it's fired, right? Which makes sense. It's like the Spartan laser out of Halo. It's like, it builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up and then bang, right? And don't get me wrong, like, it's a fucking laser beam. Like, it's gonna get to its target like almost instantaneously, allegedly. Like, do you know what I mean? I've never seen one work in real life or whatever, but like, we're being hypothetical here because we're in fantasy realm. At least I know this, you know? And I took that into account. I was like, yeah, sure, the second like the Unibeam goes off, it would be incredibly hard to dodge because it would probably hit like almost immediately. But that's what my point was. Is like it's got a big charge up, and lock-on systems are for little bitches who can't throw or shoot for shit. And I knew that would like escalate things. And then I don't know what he means by this, but he's like, so that's your way of saying Batman's cooked in quotes. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, he's basically saying, so that's your way of saying Batman loses. And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm obviously aware that like, so like, I doubt that's a child, you know. But like, they could have like mental issues or very like, you know those like really nerdy guys who like they're not just nerdy, they're like something wrong with them, like, do you know what I mean? They're like socially or like mentally a bit tapped, like, you know, and like they'll react like really emotionally and shit to certain like, yeah, I know, over the dumbest shit, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and that doesn't mean that I don't have like, I do have some kind of emotional attachment to stuff like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and Star Trek. Like, of course I do. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't not have an emotional attachment to Boromir. Do you know what I mean? When you see that scene and he's protecting Merry and Pippin and he just gets riddled by arrows, and every time he gets hit with an arrow, he just keeps getting up. And, like, he's just a dude. Like, he's just human. You know what I mean? So, like, there's stuff like that. And then there's stuff where, like, you see these supposed gods or whatever doing all these things. And, like, if you're watching something and you're invested in the story, you're going to care about characters and stuff. I mean, like, oh, that sucks that character died. Or, like, I love that bit where that character gets revenge on this guy because that guy was a fucking dickhead or whatever. Like, or it's like, isn't it great where they, like, fucking team up at that bit, and instead of killing each other, they kill the third guy who's an even bigger dickhead. Like, all these like pinnacle moments of like climactic, you know, twists and fucking climactic fights and all this fucking shit. Of course you get emotionally invested to a degree, you know, but it really is like a sacred cow thing where like this is an example of where like just me saying after all their gadgets cancel each other out, it would just be a straight up fight between Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne. Bruce would smash him up. Be an epic fight though. Like, that's not, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's not a crazy thing to say. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in any way, shape, or form. But it clearly got some people so like, oh, Iron Man, like, do you know what I mean? And like, I was thinking, I was like, are a lot of people like emotionally attached to Iron Man now because they killed him? Because as far as I know, Iron Man is like canonically dead now in the narrative of Marvel and shit. He's dead. He died in the last Avengers or whatever. I don't know. I haven't even seen the movie. I don't know if they brought him back, you know, by some means or whatever. Like, but like that's what I heard is like, fuck. I've seen the clip and all where like he falls and stuff or whatever. Or I don't know if that's from a different movie, like, but like I've heard that Iron Man's dead, and I had that thought where it was like, can they not like admit, you know, they can't conceive of Iron Man, you know, being beaten by anyone other than that Thanos guy or whatever, because that's what happened in the movie, and Iron Man is dead now. So like if I say Batman would like beat Iron Man fairly handily, like, do you know what I mean, like, or based on these reasons or whatever, like they fucking can't stand it, like. And I'm like, I love nothing more than like hypothetically playing tennis with stuff like that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to sit down with someone, like probably like more than likely one of you guys, and be like, oh yeah, it'd be cool if he did this, and like, you know, because he did that in that movie, like, he could probably do this, and like, you know, Iron Man would do this, and then, oh, but Batman's got that thing where he can do this and all, like. And it's just like, guys like doing that, where it's like, you come up with a hypothetical scenario where there's rules, you know, this gadget does this. How do we know that? Because in this episode, or in this movie, he used this gadget and it did this, right? So there's parameters, there's rules, like, visually and like narratively set for gadgets and superpowers, and like like they do shit like that with like how powerful is the Hulk's clap, you know? Because like sometimes Hulk claps in like some of the cartoons or the movies and it absolutely wrecks the joint. But then sometimes he claps and like it's not that bad. Like, do you know what I mean? It's and they've also like showed varying degrees of how strong the Hulk supposedly is in like loads of different circumstances. But it's like people get like really fucking upset and like start like insulting each other and like implying that you're like a stupid person or a fucking uh like that one comment that guy made where he was like, I love how your theory of him winning involves just invalidating Iron Man's suit, which I didn't do. And then he goes, you should probably ask yourself why. And then three people liked that. So it's like, that is that pure like, that's what it feels like anyways, that pure gammon mentality of like, yeah, he doesn't know that like, you know, Iron Man's suit is just like, it's like, so why does he have other suits then? Why does Iron Man have a hall of suits if the suit he has is like god tier? Like his fucking hot rod red and gold like OG suit. Batman couldn't like just like doesn't stand a chance. Just the one of the many things he can do, the big unibeam chest beam thing, he'd just do that and the fight would be over. Do you mean like? That's comparable to seeing people in comment sections talking about UFC, even though UFC is real. You got real fighters. Like we can talk, you know, you can talk about whether it's rigged or not or whatever, but it's still, they still hit each other, you know. Still full contact, you know, like for the moment anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if they started to go virtual pretty quick, but like, it's like saying, you know, like, you know, fucking. Like, I hoped this would happen when McGregor and Khabib fought, but, like, there was no chance it was going to happen. I hoped that Conor was just going to starch him with a left hand. As Khabib tried to come in, I was, like, hoping and praying that Conor would just stitch him an uppercut, like a low uppercut, because Conor used to, like, hang back and have his hands quite low and have that karate stance. And I was hoping he would just stick to that, and as Khabib tried to come in, instead of doing what he did with Aldo, and like barely getting out of the way of Aldo's hook and then stitching him with the left, he would like barely just get a bit more distance from Khabib's takedown and stitch him an uppercut. Kind of like how Mark Hunt knocked out Roy Nelson. Roy Nelson was all bent over trying to stay away from Mark Hunt's punches because Mark Hunt's an absolute fucking knockout artist. He's a savage, like. So Hunt just like did a proper like really low hanging fucking uppercut kind of cross combination, and like it's connected under the chin and the jaw and the neck area of Nelson and just like flattened him out, like, you know. And that's what I was hoping Conor would do. But like you had people thinking at the time that it's like, oh, that's what he's gonna do, like, you know, he's just gonna starch him. I was hoping that's what was going to happen, you know, because I was like, that'd be awesome. But I was like, that's not going to happen. I mean, Khabib's like an amazing fucking grappler, like, do you know what I mean? Like, he literally goes up to everyone and just like, it doesn't matter how good they are at stand up, like, he will grab you and he will get you to the ground. Like, do you know what I mean? So, like, it's the same to me. It's when you have these, like, conversations, like, and, like, the fact that they're ruined for people. Well, it's not that it's ruined. I still had a hilarious time gaslighting these nerds. But it's almost like it turns it into an argument when it should just be like a playful, hypothetical, you know, like a hypothetical indulgence. Do you know what I mean? Like an intellectual and creative indulgence to be like, well, why don't we create an animation? Why don't we draw it out? Why don't we get two people to fucking do an animation of like Iron Man and Batman? And it's probably been done, you know, hundreds of fucking thousands. There's probably loads of YouTube videos of like, you know, unknown or fairly unknown or fucking, you know, novice animators doing something like that. Like, I don't know. There's loads of shit out there. But that's the type of thing that I'd like to see from a conversation like that. It's like, who would win between blah 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 and blah blah. And a lot of people being like, you know, oh, I don't think that'd happen or whatever. But like, it really could. Like, it's almost like no matter what the subject matter is these days, it almost immediately devolves into "fuck you, you're wrong," and like, fair, nobody coursed on this, but like, they insult your intellect. They passive aggressively insult your character. Like, wait till you hear some of these. Like, they're fucking hilarious. Like, but yeah, like this. I thought this comment was hilarious. I was like. I turned around to him. I was like, they both have unreal tech available to them. They are both highly intelligent, but one of them is a ninja. You invalidating ninjas? I still think that's hilarious. Just the term invalidating ninjas. Yeah, like the fact that I said comparing fantasy ninjas is totally logical. I'll admit, when I wrote this one, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna piss them off so much. Like, with the whole like lock-on systems are for little bitches who can't throw or shoot for shit. Like, and it's so true. Like, the amount of video games I've played where you whip out a cool weapon, right, and it just like locks onto the enemy, and you just press a button and the enemy gets killed, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, like, do you know what I mean? But it's like way more satisfying to have to land an artillery round on somebody's head while they're like moving at high speeds or something. Like, do you know, it's like, that's one of the reasons why I love games like Battlefield 1 and all so much, is because of their attempt at putting realistic bullet physics in it and shit. You genuinely have to have at least some level of like decent hand-eye coordination and skill to be able to like land a bullet on somebody, especially somebody who's running from cover to cover, like, you know, which is one of the reasons it makes so satisfying when you're playing it. But it's also one of the reasons why when somebody kills you in a game like that, like say if you're running from cover to cover and you get shot in the head by a sniper, you're like, oh my god, you filthy bastard. You almost like respect it because you know how hard it is to do. You know, most of the time anyway. Even Battlefield, a lot of them have got very easy. They're very Call of Duty-esque now, where like the last one I played, it was like it's too fucking easy, like, you know. But anyway, was this the last one? I can't remember. Oh yeah, fucking hold on a sec. Like, the fact that like fucking like 8 or so people got in on this, I was like, are you serious? Like, that's actually hilarious. Like I'm genuinely surprised at like how people react to me sometimes. Like, and I've only had a few very minor, like, you know, some randomers like messaging me back, and I'm like, do I really come across like really like abrasive or some shit? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, one of them, like I said, makes a comment on my profile pic, and I'm like, I think my profile pic's cool looking. Like, it's my face. I want my beard to look like that again. I want my beard back. So this guy goes, bro, what? Iron Man can fly and has beams and shit. Can you tell he's black yet? Like, not even to mention he's in a suit of, in quotes, iron. Which, as far as I'm aware, Iron Man's suit isn't made out of iron. But, you know, we'll let that one slide. Like, he's just gonna be like, could you imagine if it was made out of cast iron? Like, even the one he blacksmiths the shit out of in the first movie, like, or like, did he do that in the original cartoon? I can't remember. Like, but I remember when you see him do it in the movie, and he makes the first one in the cave, and all like that's clearly made out of like steel and aluminium and shit and all that stuff. Like, iron, like, what the fuck? Like, wouldn't iron like become malleable and melt like really quickly, like if you're fucking doing all your like jet stream fucking, oh no, it's repulsar technology, sorry, like, fuck off, like. But and then he actually says that Tony would beat Bruce in a fight. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, just in hand to hands. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? Like, you think the black lad would understand how to throw down, but like, no. Do you ever see like lots of those videos online where it's two black young fellas squaring up to have like a fist fight, and man, the way some of them stand, you know, with the fucking like, it's like a mix between like Roy Jones, the way Roy Jones Jr. would fight with his hands down and shit, and like the way you see like pugilists from like the 1200s with the like, you know, have at thee, you know. It's a weird mix of that, like where they're like fucking, they do the maddest shit, like I don't know, they're always pulling up their fucking, they're always pulling up their jeans and shit, like I just find stuff like that so funny, like, do you know what I mean, like he goes, yeah, and this is where he goes, and to my knowledge, Bruce only has things made for him. Tony makes most of his stuff himself and is extremely gifted at doing so. Like, talking about fucking being an iron cook. He's extremely gifted at doing so. Makes it all himself. Like, is it just me, or the way these worded, like, are... Like, I know I'm giving them a voice, but it's like... The way they're worded is so... It's not just argumentative. Do you know what I mean? It's very emotional. It's gonna take a whole lot of planning to just cancel out his suit. And like, when did I ever just cancel out the suit? Like, the way I worded my original comment was, once all of their gadgets cancel each other out, you know, which is I'm getting to the Batwing in a second now. And Bruce won't have that time. To worry about a man in metal in the sky raining down pseudo death beams. Like, does he know what pseudo means? I don't know. You see, you know that, like, I don't mean to feel like a smart arse, like, do you know what I mean? But like, when I come across people who like genuinely do seem like they have a really low IQ, I kind of feel bad for them, and I don't want to like rip on them, but like, I suppose you should sometimes. Is my tea cold? Tepid. But I said, I think the Batwing provides air support, and a chaff grenade in the face stuns Iron Man long enough for Batman to plant a magnet on his chest, killing Iron Man instantly. And I thought that was hilarious, because I pictured it in my mind. Like, do you know what I mean? I pictured like Iron Man taking off and about to, you know, fire laser beams or whatever, and Batman just like Naruto ninja running like left and right, avoiding some of the blasts. Okay, and now he's gonna avoid the lock-on missiles and Unibeam. How's he gonna do it? He like, the Batwing comes in out of left field, and he like grapples to it, and that means he's able to like move around real quick and all, like, and then he'll like, you know, eject himself from the Batwing and use it as a distraction, and it provides air support or distraction for him with its guns and its like various, like, I'm sure it's a jet. I'm sure it's got like, you know, flares for like anti-missile shit and all, like, you know, you fucking Iron Man would have to deal with that, or it would take him out, like, do you know what I mean? The same way he would have to deal with a jet fighter, or he'd get hit by a missile. So like, if he has to take on a jet that's like either being remotely controlled, or it's like on autopilot and it's programmed to like, you know, defend Batman or whatever, like, while that's happening, Batman just fucking, if you don't know what a chaff grenade is, it's a grenade that like interrupts electronics. And the only reason I know that is because of Metal Gear Solid. Like, and as far as I know, they're a real thing. I could be wrong. Like, as far as I know, they're a real thing. But like, even if they aren't a real thing, we're talking about Batman and Iron Man, so it doesn't matter if they're a real thing. The concept is there. So he chaff grenades Iron Man, because Iron Man's now distracted by the Batwing. You know, chaff grenade goes off. So his electronics, because he's in the suit, if all the electronics are fucked, he's basically blind, deaf, and like unaware of everything, at least temporarily. And that gives Batman the opportunity to get right up on top of him and put him in a rear naked choke. No, like, that would be hilarious. But like, he gets right up on top of him and puts like a really powerful magnet on the suit. And if he puts a really powerful magnet on the suit, like, for anyone that doesn't know, apparently the reason why Iron Man has the thing in his chest is because it's keeping the bits of shrapnel that would have killed him away from his heart. That's the whole thing behind the thing on his chest, like, you know. And So if Batman just like gets real close enough to him and puts a big fucking magnet on his chest, it'll just pull the shrapnel into his fucking heart and kill him. So like, Bob's your uncle, job done. And I said that's how it would go down. And your man goes, "Oh, we're playing dirty." Like, Tony has the Hulk Buster. I love the way they call him Tony. Tony also has a unibeam chest. Like, like I think a lot of these are gay, man. Oh, they just love a bit of Tony, like, I fucking faggots. Oh, I got a lot of enjoyment out of that, like. And like, there's more to it and all, but like, you get the gist. Like, I basically just gaslit a load of nerds for like 2 days in a row on a single thread. Oh my god, I've been doing nearly 2 hours. Holy shit. Well, I suppose it was a good test of the mic. Yeah, definitely a wee bit of tism. Over the dumbest shit too. It's hilarious, like a scene in Big Bang Theory. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, I got really bummed when Gandalf died when I was reading Lord of the Rings. Wait, you mean when you think he dies, like at the Balrog bit? I remember when I seen Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. I knew my friend had read the books, so I went to him and was like, "Is Gandalf dead? Is Gandalf actually dead, or is he like what's the story? Does he come back?" Gandalf's not dead, is he? I know he's not dead. He's not dead. He's definitely not dead. You know, like, and he was like, "I'm not gonna tell you, man. I don't want to ruin the story." Like, I was like, tell me he's not dead." I think I annoyed him so much he told me. Oh god. These people aren't just fans; they're worshippers. Yeah, like, that's how it feels. Like, and it's like I genuinely had like fun writing the messages back and like, just having a bit of back and forward and like, like just thinking about how funny that like some of the concepts are and shit. Like, but you can feel it through your phone when you're reading the messages. You can feel it through your phone that like, if you were in a room with these people and they were speaking to you like that, you'd be like, relax. Do you know what I mean? Like chill out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because if somebody spoke to me like that, like, and they didn't know me, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not actually like my nigga or my bro, like, and I fucking, a lot of the time I hate that when someone like that you haven't had any contact with at all is like, bro. It's like, I'm not your bro, dude. like that annoys me. Like, I am a bit fickle though. Like, because I like to have a high standard of like a sense of honor. Sometimes I can find very basic stuff very insulting and rude, which, good luck trying to fucking exist in today's fucking society, especially like in an online capacity, and not like come across people being rude or psychotic or whatever. And it's not like I'm not used to it. It's not like I can't fucking like, process or handle it like in a healthy way or whatever like that. But it's like, it do like, I'll be enjoying a back and forth, or I'll be, I'll be engaged in a situation in a positive manner. And it's like almost always, no matter what it is, no matter where you are, no matter who you're talking to, if there's multiple people involved, someone comes in and just starts acting like a dick. There's always one, there's always one that's just like, I don't like this, like, this sucks, or like, you're wrong, or like, fucking, like, not even coming in and just like, well, I think this, and like, for you to be turn around and go just like, oh yeah, well, like, you made a few good points there or whatever, like, it's like, no, you're just wrong, and you're delusional, and you're an asshole. Like, it's like, that's what one of them said, was like, you're delusional, I can tell by your profile pic. And I was like, how can you tell by my profile pic that I'm a delusional person? Like, it's literally a picture of my face. It's like, oh, like, do you think you're cool? It's like, that's a cool picture of me. Like, it is. Like, it wasn't on purpose. I didn't pose for it. Do you know what I mean? Like literally the only reason I have that profile pic is because someone else pointed it out to me during a video call. I looked like that. It just wasn't green. The way the light was on me, like you couldn't see my eyes. It was just black. And he was like, "Bro, you look so evil right now." Like, and I went back and looked at the video message, and I was like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome." And I just like took a screenshot. That's how that happened. Like, and like you have someone, you know, reading into it and being like, "Oh, he's such a." I'm assuming like based on how he phrased it that I'm like a delusional narcissistic person who thinks I'm like the shit or something, when that's like really not the case. Like don't get me wrong, I'm awesome, but like you know, it's just like, do people not understand the difference of like being confident in how you carry yourself and being confident in like your opinions and your mindset and like, you know, having like integrity and a sense of honor and all these fucking things, and like not being a bitch about things? Like that's like seen as like being an asshole. It's like other people are like, "Oh yeah, fuck you," like, you know. It's like, what the fuck? Like I'm just I I it's not that it surprises me. I'm not surprised by it. I'm trying to like articulate what the sensation is. I suppose I suppose surprise is I'm like repeatedly and like entertained would be another good like word for it, because like a lot of the time I'm like, holy fuck, like not like a bit of shock, like a tinge of shock. Do you know what I mean? Like some people have a like such a like a visceral reaction to me sometimes just saying something or being a certain way or whatever, like, you know, like, or not even to me, like, you know, someone that I'm following or whatever, and I'll see these people in comments where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like, you, like, just off of one comment, a lot of the time I'm like, I'd probably hate to like hang out with that person. Do you know what I mean? The beard is legendary and I'm not a Trekkie. I used to like the moral narratives of comics and Star Trek. Never worshipped any of them, but Riker's beard was pretty epic. Yeah, like I read, I think that's why like I talk about that stuff a lot, is because like that's one of the things that gets to me these days. Is like it's not like it really brings me down. It's not like it really affects my life or anything. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's like that is one of those things that I'm quite, I suppose the easiest word to use would be passionate about. It's like I loved some of the like stories. They were good stories with good characters and like you said, like an overall seemingly moral overtone or undertone or direction or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? There was like a a fun, like a foundational fundamental, yeah, these are the good guys and these are the bad guys, and it like looked and sounded and felt right. Whereas now we find ourselves in a situation where like so much of the stuff out there is like fundamentally really fucked up, to the point where it's like uncomfortable to watch certain things, to the point where like, you know, like if you were like, if you say you're like a devoutly religious person who grew up in like you're like really really intensely like S tier god level Amish and you've never like, you know, forget even seeing porn, you've never even seen like a fucking like a TV screen or some shit, I don't know, like that's probably not even the case with most Amish. I like from what I've seen, you know, they have some tech, especially nowadays, but I'd say a few of them are like really 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 like traditional, you know, and like hold to the shit like really strictly. um because you imagine like witnessing like hardcore porn for the first time as like a 40-year-old man who's lived an entire life like very biblically, you know, like it would like traumatize you. You'd be like disgusted, like you wouldn't be able to look away quick enough, you know. But in the inverse, like you have like teenage boys like staring at that stuff like for hours, you know, like, and it's like it's crazy that we're at that level. Like that thing that Vox put up there the other, was it yesterday, the day before? I thought was fucking hilarious, of that British Women's Football Team Association or some shit. They're like freaking out because they don't want a boy on their team. Like, how funny is that? Like, with all the shit that's happened, like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to let me be this. Like, you know, women can do anything that a man can do. All right, well, what if a young fella wants to play with the girls? No, no, like, that's not fair. Okay. Like, so we have to let, like, we have to let you cunts fucking say and do anything and like shit all over men and like fucking like all this fucking shit. But if this young fella wants to play with the girls, he can't. Like, it's like, and don't get me wrong, I don't think the young fella should be playing football with girls, but it just shows you the level of like, you, like, like what the fuck. How did we get here? Like, you know, that's what the first thing I think of these, like, when something happens, like, you see something in the news to do with all that fucking gender shit, you know, the trans or anything, like, or the insane laws they're coming out with in certain countries. You're just like, how the fuck did we get this far? Like, yeah, like, Vox is a beast. There's been a bloom of gamma trolls in the last 10 years. Oh yeah, man, like, they're fucking, it's not just bot farms. There definitely is like an uptick in like sociopathic behavior, you know, like dudes that, like, you know, like if I was king, you know, like, they'd be fucking exiled or executed. Like, I wouldn't want them around. Like, the type of people you interact with and you're like, I don't think there's, like, your problems between you and God, you know. Fucking, I can't, like, I've a fucking community and a kingship to look after. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't be taking that kind of risk or like having that kind of liability in, like, in the village. That's how I'd see that shit. You know, certain behaviors you would just like, you'd be like, no, not here, not at all. Like, and that is harsh, but like, I think that's necessary. Like, do you know what I mean? There has to be like, there has to be that hard line somewhere. And like, that's why these fuckers are always like, you know, oh, it's all just love, man. Like, you know, in that sense, it's so manipulative, you know, the way they use words and all. Like, it is ingenious in a really dark way. Like, because don't get me wrong, in a sense that is true. It's like, love does conquer all. As sappy and as cringy as it is to say, love is extremely powerful. Because, like, just like there's a left, there's a right, there's an up, there's a down, there's a hot, there's a cold. Well, there's love and hate, and we all know how powerful hate can be, you know. So why is it so uncommon to hear people in a very moral sense claim how powerful love is, you know? I hear a lot of love talk in the mainstream, and most of it's gay. And a lot of it is like, you know, it's like they associate love with like materialism and sex. You know, it's weird. It's weird. You know, obviously there's an element of love, like, in sex involved and shit like that, but like, love isn't just physical intimacy. Like, love is like, you know, like, you can love your neighbor, you can love your brother, like, you know, you can love you're supposed to love your family and all these things. Like, and like I said earlier on in the stream, it's like, that's what's missing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, most people these days just need a fucking hug. I swear to God, I think that, like, on a level, like, you know, like, I think I'm genuinely right. Like, I think there's a uh big case for this to be true. Is like, you can have like a hardcore murderer, and like, if someone from his, like, maybe not a stranger, or someone who's like really highly trained in like human behavior or some shit. But like, if you could get someone from their past that means a lot to them or some shit, to like just show, like, say you get this guy, like, he murders someone, you have him in a cell and you're processing him or whatever, like, once he's kind of like, you know, realized that like he's gonna be charged and he's gone to fucking jail again probably or whatever, like, but if someone just came in and like hugged him and like didn't say anything, because like that's how people go that far. Like one of the easiest ways to stop caring about other people is when you're in a point where you don't feel like anyone cares about you. So you're just like, well, why would I give a fuck about them if they don't give a fuck about me? Killing someone become incredibly easy, like when you're in that kind of mindset, when you don't care if you hurt anyone, like, and like for someone like me, like I love violence. Do you know what I mean? I love like destroying shit and all. Like I love like smacking a heavy bag out of it. I haven't got the opportunity to do it in fucking years. I'm always bitching and moaning about it that I can't like, I don't have the space here or the fucking like money to just grab a heavy bag, because like man, like I would destroy one of those standing ones, like, do you know what I mean? Like I'd have to get a really heavy one, like, because I'd fucking wreck the thing, like. And it's not because like, you know, I don't think I'm like insanely strong or anything. It's just the truth. Like I know how to throw kicks and knees and punches and shit, like, and I'd need to get something that's like very heavy to be able to just like kick it and punch it as hard as I can and not have it like move all over the place. Like either that or I'd have to get an anchor point and a fucking heavy bag and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? It's expensive. Like it's also not something I'm focused on because I'm focused on PEINTEINGU. Although for the past 2 hours and 1 minute I've just been talking absolute shite. Like, and my tea is definitely cold by now. But yeah, like just like I've been ranting about for the past 2 hours. It's all like that. It's it's in every facet. It's in every like avenue of our lives now. Like you can't comment on a poll on YouTube about superheroes without encountering like genuinely like borderline insane behavior. And there'd probably be a lot of people that would like, you know, like imagine if someone that like was in that thread like watches this and is like, oh my god, what a loser, he's talking about you know, his comment that got like 40 likes or something. And it's like, I don't think the scope of it matters with the point that I'm making, you know? If anything, the fact that it's like really small makes my point even more powerful, is the fact that like even in the most random corner of the internet that like fuck all people are in or know about, and that's not like a dig at like Prioxis's channel, like he's got 100 and fucking what, 140 120,000 subscribers, like he's a great YouTuber, you know, I like his content. It's not the numbers, it's the context of the situation. All I had to do was turn around and go, I think Batman wins because, you know, they both have gadgets, and once they use all their gadgets against each other, they're like, you know, gonna cancel each other out, and for the most part, you know, like, and then it'll be a straight up fight between Batman and Iron Man, and like, even though Iron Man's in it like a metal suit, like Batman's, I don't know what his gauntlets and his helmet are made out of, like, but the amount of times in the cartoon and the movies that like Batman like blocks bullets and shit with those gauntlets and stuff and does all sorts of things and shit, like, so it's like Batman's like fought robots and stuff, like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, and even though he's not superhuman, like he's clearly shown to be like insanely strong, you know, compared to like your average dude. He's like insanely strong. It's just he's not like superhumanly strong, like one of the fucking Green Lanterns or Superman or fucking even Captain America or something. Like, it's just insane to me where like in my mind I enjoy these things for what they are, and I really enjoy them and I love them, like, you know, and they inspire me, and you know, I like to create stuff like them. Like I've created my own superheroes and stuff like that, and I have my own storylines, and they all have their own powers and the way they look and so on and so forth. And it's like, why corrupt that? Why ruin that with like just this, for lack of a better term, toxic behavior. Like, you know what I mean? Which is, like, I don't like using the word toxic because like it's been used so much by that side. You know, oh, toxic masculinity. Oh, you're so toxic. But like, I think it's very appropriate in certain contexts where it's like online multiplayer games where people figure out like a loophole or like a certain action or behavior that you can perform in the game that like really fucking annoys other people trying to just play the game together, you know? And like that happens a lot in games where it's just like, oh, these guys are doing this thing, like, and like you and your friends will just want to leave and find another game because you don't have the patience for that shit, you know? Like they do things specifically because they know it'll piss people off, like, you know, like they like feed on people's anger and like annoyance and all that shit, like, you know, aggravation. They feed on the aggravation. Like, that's what I call toxic. That needless, like when I take the piss out of someone, or I want to like play around and have a laugh or take the piss out of a situation, I want to do it in a way that genuinely makes everybody laugh, you know? I want to do it in a way because I want that end result of like everybody laughs or everybody's having lots of fun. You have that other type, that inverted type, that like wants to do something that they want to do because they want to get a negative reaction out of a lot of people, you know? They want people to feel bad. They want people to feel stupid. They want people to feel embarrassed or humiliated. When that's one of the, like, that is legit one of the worst fucking feelings in the world, is when you're like embarrassed or humiliated in front of people you know. It can be people you barely know, or it can be people that, like, you know, your family, you know, you know them really well, and like either or is like really, really, really traumatizing depending on what it is, like. And I know that because something like that happened to me. Like, I spoke about it before on a stream where like I was staying, it's like one of those like 3-week summer camp thing getaways, and me and a few of the lads in the house were going to sneak out, and there was this big hill at the back of the house, and we were all going to sneak out and run up the hill. It was like, you know, cold and wet and you can't see shit, so we were like, we fucking strip down to your boxers and like run out, like, you know, because like if you're going to be in your bare feet and it's cold and all, so we just like made it like the worst experience possible. It's like strip down to your underwear and run up the hill and run back down as quickly as you can. And like the premise is hilarious, like, do you know what I mean? So we were all like, yeah, that sounds like a bit of crack, like, do you know what I mean? We're all just like, run, one minute, right, you go. But the second the force guy went, I think the force guy went, and then it was like I was gonna go. The second I went to get up out of the window, one of the lads jocked me, and like my cock was just out and all, it's freezing cold, so I had like acorn dick, like, do you know what I mean? like, and then like that like fucked me up for a while, like, do you know what I mean? Because like they all started laughing, and one of them was like, it's like a little snail and all, like, do you know, man, I was like 14, and when you're in a group of lads that you don't know at all, you don't know like shit from applesauce, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I hadn't even started watching like porn or anything, like, had barely kissed a girl, and like, man, I got so angry and embarrassed. Like, I fucking, and like the fact that I didn't like violently attack the dude, considering like how angry I got and all, like, kind of shows you what kind of guy I am. I kind of was just like, fuck you guys, like, you know. I didn't react in a way that was like, right, well, I'm going to fucking hurt you now. Like, I've seen that. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people have done that to me, where like someone in that camp actually said to me, like, we were like fucking around and like squeezing this like sunscreen gel like onto his face while he was asleep. And like he's a big guy, like, so one of the lads was afraid to do it. He was like, oh no, what if he wakes up and all? I was like, give me it, I'll do it. Like, and the second I started doing it, he like shot up. And I was like, Ronan, don't! This guy is huge compared to me, like, massive. Like, he could have open hand slapped me with one hand and probably would have knocked me clean out, like. You know, like the mountain of fucking Game of Thrones. So like he was a huge young fella, like, and I was like, Ronan, don't, because he like got up and like started going mad, like, and I bailed out the window. And he came out of the house and he started throwing like chairs at me and all. I'm like dodging chairs and shit, like, and then he tried to like, catch me physically by like running after me, but like he was very large but very slow. And that was a hilarious situation. But like, like people, like especially males, like like dudes, very commonly react like that. Like when you get like embarrassed or like humiliated in a situation, and you just fucking snap, and you just want to murder the fucking person who instigated your humiliation or embarrassment. Like, I wasn't like that though, and I think one of the reasons why I was always quite like, I just like take shit and like get over it. Fucking, I'd say is probably to, like, to do it like, the parents and me dad, my early life, the younger years, where like a lot of the time how I responded to like because I wasn't afraid of being in front of people. I was in drama classes and all that, so I was used to have loads of eyes on me, but in a positive way. It was a jarring experience to have a lot of eyes on me in a horrible way. It's like the only time that had ever happened to me, and it was a fucking weird experience, like, and it fucks with you, cause like it's one of the most powerful ways for like those negative voices to get into your head, like, fucking, they're right, you do have a tiny cock. like like years looking down being like, is it small? Like, I'd say, I like being like I'm fucking 32 now, like, you know what I mean, like, and it's like the amount of shit, and that's why this Iron Man and Batman thing is like such a good example, like, of like both my current mindset and like most of society, like, not most, like your average person in society now, I would make that claim, is just so unprepared for what I know to be the real world, in the sense of like people will hate you for the maddest reasons. Like you could be the, like, this. I always use this as like as my argument, like the Jesus argument, where it's like, if they killed Jesus, like, what do you think they'll do with you? Like, you know what I mean? It's like if this guy was like healing people and feeding people, and they nailed him to a cross, then what do you think they'll do with you? Like, like, and it's like, I'm not feeding people and healing people. Like, so it's like it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how, like, oh, he's so amazing and all. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, people will still fucking hate you. Like, if anything, they'll hate you. Like, they'll be like zealots of hate for you. Like, depending on if you're like really good. Like, it's fucking mad. Like, how that like mathematical equation, how that ratio works out mathematically is fucking insane to me. It's like a really good, really successful, really moral person will have haters. But that makes sense, doesn't it? Because it correlates to the whole like God and Satan thing. It's fucking weird, man. I like swear to God, I didn't think I was just gonna sit here for 2 hours and 20 minutes and just talk shit. But sometimes it just happens. Oh, don't forget the, yeah, that's why I said that. Like, a lot of the time it does just feel like bots, especially when you look at some of the profile pics or the usernames. You're just like, this isn't a real person. The thought of one of them calling upstairs for some chicken tendies during the disagreement cracks me up. Oh. Yeah, Vox's channel is just called Vox Day. Gankers are the worst players. Yeah, well, like, that's one of those things where like ganking can be hilarious, but like you're right, like, that like these type of people who like will play a video game in such a way that like you do think to yourself, you're like, if you're like that in real life, like you're a fucking horrible human being. Like, if you ever want to play a fun game with a female, try It Takes Two. Yeah, we've played It Takes Two, and we had good crack, and we have played Divinity Original Sin together, and we enjoyed that. We didn't finish it though. Overcooked 1 and 2 are great to play with the missus or the kids probably. You have to like prep meals together and stuff, and it takes coordination and timing, and like you have to know certain combos and shit and all. Like, it's cool. It's good crack. If you're in a bad mood, it can like start arguments. Like, it's one of those games where it's like, you know, I told you to give me that lettuce 5 minutes ago. Like, so it's actually hilarious. Like, that's one of the reasons I love playing video games, is because like many things in life, like fighting, you can't lie in a fight, right? And in a sense, you can't lie in a video game, because like the way you play a video game says things about you, you know, and like it can be hilarious to play something like that with like your missus, or like, you know, your kids or something, like, and your personality traits start to, like, you know, show up, like positive or negative, like, you know what I mean, like I've had experiences like that, like playing something like Fortnite with the lads, and yous land and yous go through the gaff and like pick up weapons and a health potion and a shield or something, and then one of yous is like, you know, oh shit, like I don't have a shield, like there was only 3 shields, I don't have a shield, like, you know, and then like one of the boys is like, you know, fucking, oh, I was gonna save this for a backup, but you can have it, you know, and it's like, you know, oh nigga, you didn't have to do that. like simple shit like that, like conversations like that over a headset, like I used to make me laugh no end, where like, you know, one of your mates gets shot at, and it's like, you know, oh, somebody's shooting at me, he's like, he's east 125, east 125, and then the 3 is turn around and like, you're like, yeah, we see him, bum, 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 and like fucking annihilate him, like, and it's like, thanks guys. Like some of the shit I've like said and like heard over the mic on video games and all, some of the funniest fucking things ever, like. But anyway, I'm actually just gonna leave it there. Like, I'm not gonna start painting now. I have fucking shit to do, and I'm tired, and I need to make a dinner and all. So everything is in working order. The new mic works. We have a new character on the stream. Fucking Tobias Beakus Crows has joined us. He shall be adorned with a cigarette by tomorrow, if I remember. Because that's the reason I got him, is because I painted that smoking crow in that Jungle Castle episode. I don't know why. I just, like, a smoking posh crow just makes me laugh, like, you know. So I'll probably gonna do stuff like with the bird or whatever, because like the video I did this morning was hilarious. The way like like the female did the editing for me, like, and fucking, it's so funny, like. It's like something out of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the way it just shows, like, it just zooms in on the bird, like, it's just fucking funny. You know me, I just love taking the piss. I always tell my boys, if you get embarrassed, don't get mad, just laugh it off. Kids sense weakness quickly and pounce. Yeah, they're like little animals, like, you know. That's what, like, I was always really good at laughing shit off, like if I got hurt or if I like fell over, or so if I embarrassed myself, if I fucked something up, or if I fell over, if I dropped something, or like anything, like I would always go, oh god, like, you know, like I'm such an idiot, or like how did I manage that, or I'd laugh that shit off. But that I found it like almost impossible to laugh that off. Like, I was like, what the fuck, like I felt so horrible. Like, what's up? Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up in the next 5. Yeah, I literally just said it. Yeah, I'll have a coffee. Yeah, fuck it. You okay? Right. Well, I'm newly supplied with new paints and shit. Monday was stir productive. New mic works and the crow is cool. Yeah, like I'm just glad the setup works and that like I can still do shit and all like and it hasn't like drastically altered stuff. I might put a fucking. I can't see your face. I can just see your hand. So I'm like, what am I focusing on? Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll do it now. Right. I'm sure. Like, thanks for the chat on the new mic. You're welcome, Dick Photo. I'm already like holding it and shit. Like I didn't think I'd do that. I thought I would find this like really annoying and like constantly get it out of the way. But now I'm just like gripping it. It's just fucking. I feel like I've been a radio host all my life. Anyway, right. Today's painting goo wasn't a painting goo. It was just a nice old chatting goo. So you're welcome for today's chatting goo. If you would like to support Painting Goo, the link is in the description. If you would like to buy any of my merchandise, the link is also in the description. And I will be here, same time, same place tomorrow, Tuesday. The day of twos. Oh, the day of twos. That's why I didn't paint anything today, because this is called Double Dragon, and I was supposed to paint it tomorrow. Because it's Tuesday tomorrow. That's when you do double things, like double dragons. Right, so I'll return tomorrow. In the meantime, be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I'll see you then. God bless. ASM Ordingu. Testing goo. How many things can you just put in goo on the end of oo? Right, much love. I'll talk to you tomorrow.